Okay. Can you hear me? Ooh. Wow. Thank you, Brett Johnson, for improving our sound system. Okay. Our call to worship today is by renowned Scottish-born American naturalist, author, and early advocate for wilderness preservation, who was known as the father of the national parks, John Muir. He said, "In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks." We will begin today by lighting the chalice. If you would please repeat the lighting chalice words that are printed in your order of service. And actually, Brett, if you would be so kind as to light the chalice today. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and for the energy of action. Welcome and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ogden. My name is Chalice Davison, and I'm going to be leading our worship today. And my apologies for squeaking in right on time. My back decided it didn't want to work this morning, so I had to have some serious negotiations with parts of my body. Oh, the joys of aging. Okay. Well, we love having people of all ages in our community, and as you come in, I hope that you've noticed we have some baskets of activities in the back, in the lobby area for little fingers, young and old, who like to stay busy. And we do enjoy the sounds and wiggles of a multi-generational congregation. Also, we would love to connect with you, so if you're a newcomer, please fill out the newcomer information cards that are in the back of they should be in the little hymnal pockets, and then you can put those in the offering basket, and that way we can sign you up for our awesome newsletter, and you can stay connected with us. And then we also have a lot of our established members, our old-timers, we will have name tags, so feel free to introduce yourself, and we will try and introduce ourselves to you as well. So thank you so much for being here, and welcome. Okay. Now, if you haven't already, could you please put your phones on worship mode? And we are happy and glad that everyone is here, and welcome. Our opening reading today is a beautiful poem that I found by poet Stevie Smith, and it's called "Alone in the Woods." Alone in the woods I felt the bitter hostility of the sky and the trees. Nature has taught her creatures to hate, man that fusses and fumes, unquiet man. As the sap rises in the trees, as the sap paints the trees a violent green, so rises the wrath of nature's creatures at man. So paints the fates of nature a violent green. Nature is sick of man, at man, sick at his fuss and his fume, sick at his agonies, sick at his gaudy mind, that drives his body ever more quickly, more and more, in the wrong direction. And my apologies, but that was a rather stark ending to that poem. So needless to say, nature's mad at us, and we need to make amends. Okay. If you can please rise in body and spirit for our intermediate intermediate hymn, 1064, in the thin teal hymnal, Blue Boat Home.
Yeah.
For our Good Trouble Sunday today, we have invited volunteers from a local nonprofit called Pliking. I was like, Plinking? Okay, so Pliking. And they're going to share with us all about their organization and their mission. So litter cleanup costs the United States almost $11.5 billion, with a B, every year. But that still doesn't cover everything it takes to keep our towns litter-free, and communities rely on volunteers to make up the difference. And so that's where Pliking helps fill the gaps. It is a 501c3 organization run entirely by volunteers, from the college students picking up trash to the CEO. All donations go directly to equipment and program expenses. And our guests today are from our local chapter here in Weber County of Pliking. So thank you, ladies. So it's Lindsay and Sherry. Sherry, thank you. So come on. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I don't think I need a microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can hear you, but the people who are joining us online won't be able to hear you very well without us.
Okay. I can't yell that loud. Well, thank you for having us here today. We're excited to be part of your worship service today and share with you a little bit about Pliking. In 2018, here in Ogden, Utah, is where Pliking was born. And it was a group of people who used to just hike on the mountains, and they continued to see pieces of litter along the trails and along the waterways here, and they used to just bring a little bag and pick it up. And they thought, I wonder if anybody else would be interested in doing this with us. So they formed a meetup group online, and the first event they had was at High Adventure Park down on Grant and I think 17th or 18th Street. And 13 people showed up to pick up litter, and that is where Pliking was born. So since then, 2018, yeah. So that was when they got the idea that maybe other people would like to continue doing this, and the meetup group has been meeting from 2018 till now. Even through the pandemic, we met. We got asked by the city if they could send us volunteers, because at that time when nobody could get together inside of an office building or someplace else to volunteer, they could still be outside. And so they were getting community service hours through Pliking. That's when we became a 501c3, so people could get their real community service hours validated. And since then, we have been run completely by volunteers. And today you see two of our board members. I'm Sherry, and I'm the board chair and director. And this is Lindsay, and she does multiple jobs. She is our secretary, she's our treasurer, and then she's also our liaison between our group and Ogden Trails Network. So she's got a lot of hats over here. When we go out on the trails, we take different organizations. We have companies that come with us. We have schools. We have people just from the meetup group, so just local citizens that want to come out and meet people, get some exercise out on the trails, and help keep us litter free. We've cleaned up from Ogden, where we started. We've gone as far as Murray to help do cleanups. And we have a couple of small groups in Washington State and eastern Idaho. We have a couple people in Boston that actually ride their bikes and pick up. It's still called Pliking, picking up litter while hiking or picking up litter while biking. And then we have a group in Gastonia, North Carolina. It's probably the biggest group, although they didn't start us. They use our logo. They use our word Pliking, which is what we started with. And but their program is funded by their city in Gastonia, North Carolina. So they have a really big group. And we just started a partnership with a group called Kettering Cycling, or Cycle Kettering in Dayton, Ohio. So they are just starting. In fact, this month, April 25th, will be their first event. So we're kind of excited. We've been able to spread out a little bit, but our biggest reward, I think, comes from seeing when people, it can be children, it can be, like Shelley said, the CEO of a company, when they come out with us and they see the amount of litter that we have on our trails, and they're able to do something about it just by picking it up. It doesn't cost anything, and they're outside with nature. It's one of the most rewarding things to see how satisfied people are when they can pick up litter and make a difference so easily. We also partner with Weber State college students. We have several groups that go out and they do community service, and they're required to actually set up a little event on their own, and then they come and get equipment from us. We do have a equipment lending program, and they get their equipment and go out in the trails, and you hear the stories that they tell afterwards about how they weren't really aware of how much litter there was out there, but they hear people tell them thank you on the trail, and they feel really good about that. So it's kind of exciting to hear all the different stories that we have about Pliking. And one of the events that we have coming up is next Saturday. We will be at the Botanical Garden on the Dime and Ring Trail. If you haven't been to the Botanical Garden lately, this is a beautiful time of year to go. Unfortunately, we're going to get some crazy weather this week, so we don't know how it's really going to be. But you guys are all welcome. We hope that some of you come and help us out on the trails. We'll not only be doing litter pickup, but we'll be kind of grooming the trail. That's one of the things that we do on some of the trails too, is make sure the trails are wide enough, that they're safe for people. So we pick up not only litter, but we'll trim the trees back a little bit and stuff like that. We don't trim anything at the Botanical Garden, only on the Diamond Ring Trail. They have people that know how to do the things, like real arborists and stuff. We're just choppers with our equipment, so you don't want us out in the Botanical Garden doing anything. But we have a lot of fun. It's a great time to spend out in nature. You're getting some exercise. The nice thing about Pliking is when we do hike, we're going at a slow pace. A lot of people, it's like, I can't hike because I can't walk that fast, or I can't go up the mountain. A lot of our hikes are actually on flat paved surfaces. Any level of activity, if you are able to do it, you'll be fine with Pliking. We'd love to see you out there, so we hope you come on Saturday. And afterwards, we are having a barbecue that we'll have a potluck, and we'll provide the meat, but we're hoping people bring different dishes. So that's going to be it from 10 to noon on Saturday the 18th. And the potluck will be right after that. So we'll be down in one of the little gazebo areas, pavilion areas at the Botanical Garden. So that's what we're going to do. I'd like to share a little exercise that we do, because as we pick up things out on the trail, people often say, well, if we left this stuff on the trail, how long would it take to decompose out here? And I have a little exercise that I have to have participation. So I'm going to get my bag. This is where volunteers come in. If you're willing to volunteer, just raise your hand and I'm going to give you something. Anybody? Oh, here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Being the first one. Oh. Who else? All right. We're getting lots of volunteers here.
Just one question.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about calling your organization Pliking?
Including
Yeah, that kind of rolls off the tongue.
No, the reason we call it Pliking is because in Sweden they have a movement that's called plogging. It's picking up litter while jogging, and ours is picking up litter while hiking and biking. So, yeah, I've got a couple more.
You better get the other side.
Who do we have over here? Oh, here we go. Great, thank you.
So while she's handing those out, I'm going to go over a little bit about our equipment.
One more.
We used to do,
Okay.
so I'm going to go over a little bit about our equipment. So we used to do mostly plastic bags, and then while we're out there and we're picking up stuff, boxes and things with sharp edges would go right through the bags. And we were finding that we were using 2 or 3 bags. So we started using buckets. And when these get full, we do empty them into either garbage cans or garbage bags. But we found that we use a lot less, which is very helpful for the environment. And while you're out there, we do provide all of the equipment that you need to come out and join us. Buckets, gloves, and grabbers. And if we're on, like 21st Street Pond is one of our frequently visited sites. We also have yellow vests that if you're up by the street or anywhere else where you're up by the street, we do have safety vests for you. So anytime, and we do loan these out if you have a event that you want to do with just your friends or family or your church group, we can organize that. You can pick a location and off you go. Thank you.
So all of you that volunteer, I'm going to ask you really quick. I'm such a loud talker. I'm going to ask everybody that said they would volunteer to just step into the center. I'm going to have you take the items that are in those bags, and I want you to try to line up in the order that they are going to decompose. So from the least amount of time to decompose to the back will have the most amount of time to decompose. So you kind of have to share with each other where you think you'll be.
Some serious cachet.
This is how we, hey, that's my lunch, don't squish it. No. It's about ready for banana bread, isn't it? Okay. They work great.
Very easy.
Hey, she needs that banana back. No. Okay. How do you guys feel? You feel like you're all set from order of? All right. Let's see who's in the beginning. We got a banana. Do you guys think that that's going to be? Oh, here's what we have. We have bananas. We have paper napkins. We have clothes. We have a plastic water bottle. And then what do you have? Cigarette butts, disposable medical mask, Cheeto and candy wrappers. We're gonna start, we've got a lot of people back there that still have things. So we're gonna start with the items that take the least longest to decompose. All right, so we're gonna get you in order. Lindsay, you get them in order as I say what's gonna happen, okay? So the least amount of time to decompose is actually the paper napkin. So you step in front. Okay. A paper napkin or tissue is going to take between 1 to 6 months just out in the environment to decompose. That's still a long time. 1 to 6 months. You're going to see that. The next one would be the banana peel. The one thing about banana peels, orange peels, an apple core an animal might eat. A banana peel, an orange peel, no one's going to eat that. It's going to sit there and sit there and sit there. Banana peel can take up to 2 years sitting on top of soil just to decompose. Now, if you want to use it in your composting, it's fantastic. Take it home and put it under the dirt. It'll do more work that way. The next person should be the candy and chip wrapper. Where are you? Come on up. So these still take 10 to 50 years to decompose. So when you see candy wrappers or somebody drop their Dorito bag, it's going to be there for a long time, longer than some of us will be around. You know what I mean? The next one is going to be, who has the wipes? Come on up. You're going to be after the candy wrappers. The plastic bag of that is going to take longer, but the wipes stand right behind the candy wrapper. Okay. So these wipes, not the container that it comes in, but just the wipe. So if you wipe somebody, you wipe your hands, wipe your baby, throw the thing down, it's going to be out there for 50 to 100 years. What a legacy we leave to our kids, huh? Have a used diaper wipe. Okay, the next one is going to actually be the batteries. Now, if this was a car battery, it'd be a different story. These batteries are like a D battery and a AA battery, and they're still going to take a long time, but there's some other damage that these batteries will do. They're going to be out there between 50 to 100 years. The exterior will start to decompose, but inside there's sometimes lead and other chemicals, and they will last for a long time because they're going to go into your water supply, they're going to go into our food chain. So even though they break down in 50 to 100 years, they're insides, the results of them are going to be long-lasting. So they're out there.
Recyclable anywhere in Ogden?
About
Driven around and not found any place.
not a specific place. You can mail them places that they can recycle them. They are harder to recycle. It is better to put them in a landfill, I guess, than to throw them out on a trail or something. But yes, any of this stuff could be, I can't say any of it, most of it could be sent to a recycling. But in Ogden, we do have a recycling program, but it's limited. We just do the best we can. But yeah. But none of these things belong on the trails, that's for sure. So the next one is clothes. Okay, you're right in the right place right now. But here's the thing about the clothes. Depending on what the fabric is made out of, those happen to be a pair of socks. And we often find socks, shirts, shoes, pants, underwear. We find the weirdest things out on the trail. Like, whoa, who's been out here? we could clothe somebody. But clothes will take between 5 and 200 years. So if it's cotton or wool, it's going to break down. Mice, insects, they'll break cotton and wool down pretty fast, usually 5 to 10 years. But polyester, rayon, nylon, 200 years is going to be out there. So it's going to take a long time. The next one is plastic straws. Look at you, you're right in the right place. Plastic straws, oh, is that you? Okay, come on back up then. Okay, plastic straws, 200 to 400 years. Now the thing is, it's probably not going to still be a straw by the time it's done decomposing. In the sun, in the weather, they're going to break down into teeny tiny pieces of microplastic. And then we all get to eat that because it'll be in our food and our water supply. So we want to make sure that they get into the trash. The next thing is aluminum cans. Who's got those?
I got these also.
Okay, aluminum cans in. So aluminum cans, one of the most recyclable items that there is. People actually get paid to recycle aluminum. But when you find it out there, it's going to be out there for 200 to 500 years to break down aluminum. Okay? The next thing, who has the disposable mask? Come on up. So a disposable mask, it's mostly made out of, it's got some paper, but it's got some plastic, and sometimes it's got like rubber or elastic in it. And that can take 400 to 450 years to decompose. During the pandemic, we found these everywhere. We're so thankful that thing's over. The next thing is the plastic bottle. Who's got that? Okay, so the plastic bottle also about 450 years. And it won't be in that shape anymore either. It'll be microplastics. It'll break down after, maybe 20 years. It'll break down. It'll be little pieces and shards of plastic until it just becomes microplastic and goes into our water and food supply. The next thing is a styrofoam cup. Who's got the styrofoam cup? Somebody does. Okay, the styrofoam cup. How to get out of its bag. A styrofoam cup will take about 500 years. But has anybody seen styrofoam break, like if you step on it and it shatters into a million pieces? Those pieces don't go anywhere. They hit our water supply and they'll be there for a long, long time. The next thing is a glass bottle. A glass bottle, here's the thing. Glass is made out of sand and heat. It's one of the easiest things for us to get back into sand, except for we don't have a really good recycling program for glass. They do have glass recycling, but you have to take it someplace, and we encourage people to do that. But they won't pick it up in your city recycling, unfortunately. But glass is about 1 million years. If you just leave glass out there, beer bottles, soda bottles, that's just a mason jar, 1 million years for that to decompose when you could take it to a glass recycler and they can turn it back into sand. So that's a long time.
Glass recycling in Ogden, huh?
They have glass recycling. You can, yes, you can go, I think even the green waste. The green waste, which is right across from the botanical garden, they have a bin that's just for glass recycling. Sometimes schools will have some recycling programs, and they have the big bins. And I know Ogden High used to have it. I don't know if they still do.
The big container is still in the parking lot. It's right on the
So,
corner.
30th and Harrison, yeah. And then we snuck in there, who has the picture of the cigarette butts? Okay. They're really not the longest. The glass is the longest. But the cigarette butts, how many times do people, you just see them all over the sidewalk, in the gutters, they're everywhere. But a cigarette butt will take between 2 and 10 years to decompose. But the problem is, if it's a filtered cigarette, that filter sometimes is eaten by wildlife, which causes death and mutations. They carry the toxins, especially the heavily toxins, because you've smoked through that filter. All the toxins are there that didn't get inside you. And they're going to go into our water supply, our water system, into the wildlife, and they're part of our food chain. And that's just something, I just added that today because we find so many cigarette butts out there, and if you just put them in an ashtray or, throw them away, they're still going to have to decompose in a landfill at some point, but on the street and things like that, it definitely gets into your water supply. That goes right down the gutter into our sewer and our storm drains, and that is our recycled water that we drink. So that's where it ends up. So thank you for all of you volunteers for participating. We can gather up all the bags now, but did anybody learn anything? But it's exciting when you're out. I will tell you some of the funniest things we've found while we've been out getting trash on the trails. We have found a couch. We have found chairs. We have found clothes. Like I said, we can pretty much clothe a person sometimes while we're done. One time we found 38 shoes, and not one of them was a pair. That was all in the river, in the Ogden River. 38 shoes, and not one of them was a set.
You consider eliminating the need to do this by creating a sign that talk about that litter, take it with you? Seems to me like that would be good.
The signing definitely helps. There's a lot of things that get into the environment, not because somebody actually threw it down. Have you been here on a windy day, especially after trash day, and your street's covered with trash, and nobody littered? It's just that the wind was blowing, and as they take care of the trash, the stuff's blowing out. So not all trash is on purpose, but it happens, and we still have to get it cleaned up. But on the trail, your best bet is always leave no trace. Take out everything you brought. There are trail signs that attest to that say, please bring out everything you carried in, and a lot of people do. People who love the outdoors often do make sure that their space is kept very well. Sometimes it's kids partying, and sometimes it's just, I forgot I left my styrofoam container of worms. I was fishing out there, and I forgot to bring that. Well, the worms are probably now dead, which you could have just put into the ground, and the styrofoam is all broken up. So it's not good. Yes?
Yeah, I've seen so much debris along the side of roads,
Yes.
frontage roads and stuff like that. I'm disgusted, my fellow man, that they would throw that stuff out when they could just keep it in their car and take it home and put it in the garbage.
Yeah.
And that's why I was suggesting signage, in certain locations where there's a lot of debris.
Yeah.
Just to remind people that you need to do that.
Yeah, the signage does help. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of people that don't care, and that's kind of the way it's happened. I will say litter control is better today than it was 50 years ago. People used to throw everything away, and the Keep America Beautiful movement did help a little bit. Unfortunately, a lot of their Keep America Beautiful money went to the executives and administration of running that program. The nice thing about Pliking is we're all volunteers. Our money goes straight to the equipment and to our presentations and stuff. So we count on community volunteers and people that care about the environment, or people that just want to get out and do something and have fun. We have a great time. But yeah, we hope that you join us sometime, and thank you very much for your...
So I just want to go over some of these pictures. So some of these are
Yeah.
So some of these pictures are just shots of different places that we've been. The first one is up on Old Snow Basin Road. We went up there. Of Of course, there wasn't much trash, but it was still a fun day. The middle one is actually on Antelope Island, where we also have a adopted trail. And that one is on, I believe, Parker Drive. Parker Drive in Riverdale. The one with the little children, we don't show their faces. That is one of the schools that we work with on.
It's Riverdale Elementary and your Girls on the Run program.
Yeah, and then this one, we did a couple of years in a row. We've done actual cleanup at the Christmas Village in downtown Ogden. This year was very easy to pick up the trash. There was no snow, unfortunately, so. And there wasn't much trash. The people were doing a very good job of keeping that up. So.
Do you have a website that says where you're going to be each weekend?
We have on Meetup.
Go ahead.
On Meetup, it says where we're going to be and what our events are that are scheduled. We also have a Facebook page. So our Meetup is Meetup, and it's the Pliking Club of Ogden or Pliking Club of Salt Lake, and we run both of those. And then we also have our website, which is just pliking.org. And on that website, you can find out a lot of information about our organization, make a donation, find out what we've accomplished. But if you want to know where we're going, it's going to be on Meetup or Facebook. Those are the two places that we'll usually post our events. Yes?
Can you tell us a little bit about dog waste? Like, do you
Okay.
pick up dog waste?
So
Tell us
what, one of the things that we do find, and some trails are worse than others. She was asking about dog waste, and we have two adopted trails. One of them is the 29th Street Trail here in Ogden on the mountain. The other is at Antelope Island. All the other trails that we work on, we just go out for fun. We do not pick up dog waste. On 29th Street, we will, because that's our adopted trail. We have supplies to do that. There's a lot of posted signs that says pick up your dog waste, but a lot of people don't care. Probably one of the worst things is when they put it in a bag and then they leave it on the trail. Now we're going to save that. You know, nature would have taken care of the dog waste in, maybe a couple years. Now we're going to have that bag out there. How long was the plastic bag? 200 years as it breaks down, and then we get to have that lovely dog do later on. So I just encourage people, if I see somebody that has a dog and they're picking it up, I always say thank you so much so that they feel appreciated for doing that. But it is one of the things that it's anywhere, and people in neighborhoods too, but, it's up to the dog owners to take care of that. And there is signing. It's a city ordinance, I believe.
And most trails do have dog waste stations where you can pick up a bag and drop it off as well.
Yeah,
There's no excuse.
yeah. We're basically, we've kind of gone through our whole presentation, but any other questions before we go? Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sherry and Lindsay, for coming today. We are going to continue on our service by going forward with our weekly ritual that helps us to collectively hold the challenges and joys of being human. As you light a candle, let it hold your hopes, memories, and gratitudes for this beautiful, complicated world and our lives. And as you drop a stone in our sacred gathered waters, may it be an opportunity to imagine those burdens and quests for forgiveness held in a community that will let the stone land with care and intention. Please come forward. Our offering is a practice of gratitude for this community filled with care and courage, love and resistance. We commit to keeping this community resourced for the ministries ahead, both in our walls and beyond. The offering we collect each week supports us in being the community that can best respond to the needs of these times. As we collect our offering today, we remember our interconnectedness and the interdependence, and we generously offer our care with hopes to support all through these times. Can I have 2 volunteers to collect the offering? Please rise in body and voice, and facing the center aisle, please sing together the offering song printed in your order of service.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Thank you so much. Oops, got to remember to hold this away from the candles. Tassel. We thank you so much for your abundant generosity and for your modeling of care and love. Thank you. At this point, do we have any announcements? No? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, our closing hymn today will be 1024, When the Spirit Says Do, and it is 1024 in your teal hymnal.
You got
As our spirit comes to an end, please join me in saying the chalice extinguishing words printed in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. I'd like to close our meeting today with a beautiful poem called Morning Poem by Mary Oliver. I like to joke that as Unitarians, we don't agree a lot on what we consider scripture, but Mary Oliver is kind of a universal scripture for UUs. So there's your UU joke for the day. So, Morning Poem by Mary Oliver. Every morning the world is created. Under the orange sticks of the sun, the heaped ashes of the night turn into leaves again and fasten themselves to the high branches, and the ponds appear like black cloth on which are painted islands of summer lilies. It is your nature to be happy. You will swim away along the soft trails for hours, your imagination alighting everywhere. And if your spirit carries within it the thorn that is heavier than lead, if it's all you can do to keep on trudging, there is still somewhere deep within you a beast shouting that the earth is exactly what it wanted. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly. Every morning, whether or not you have ever dared to be happy, whether or not you have ever dared to pray. Thank you.
As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our hearts till we return. As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our